Hello and welcome once again everyone. Today I would like to share with you my thoughts on how to play the HMS Lightning. I must admit to having thoroughly enjoyed playing its predecessor, HMS Jervis at Tier 7, and consider it to be very competitive, if not the strongest destroyer at its tier, earning it a permanent slot in my board. The Lightning, however, coming in at Tier 8 is in my opinion the jewel in the crown that is the Royal Navy destroyer line. The Lightning is simply better on all fronts and has instantly become one of my favourite ships in World of Warships. I chose this opening clip because it encapsulates a lot of what is great about the Lightning. Fully skilled, the Lightning enjoys a really competitive concealment rating of 5.5 kilometers, allowing you to get close to detect and eliminate these enemy destroyers with these hard-hitting, rapid-firing guns. Now, combine that with the incredibly flexible torpedo options. Albeit not the fastest torps in the game, they are quite stealthy, allowing you to use either these wide spreads or single fire options to engage those usually more difficult to hit angled bow in and reversing targets with devastating efficiency. So while we sit back and watch these focus spreads home in on their respective targets, let me take a moment to lay out to you my plan for this video. Firstly, we will take a look at the ship's core stats, including the ship upgrades and captain skills, followed by a recent hard carry Kraken game with commentary including my tactics and strategy required to transform the Lightning into a truly dangerous destroyer.
Enemy battleship sunk.
Here we have a close-up of the HMS Lightning in the very spooky Halloween port. Let's quickly go to the ship stats. Here we have 3x2 120mm cannons with a reload of 4.0 seconds, a 9% fire chance, and an equal shell velocity for both AP and HE of 774 meters per second. So you won't have to adjust your aim while changing shell types. Our torpedoes, we've got 2x4 launchers with a reload time of 96 seconds, a range of 8 kilometers, and a quite stealthy detection range of 1.3 kilometers. We've got a maximum speed of 36 knots with a very healthy 590 meter turning circle with a rudder shift time of 3 seconds and a very competitive detectability range of 5.5 kilometers. Now let's quickly look at the upgrades. Main armaments modification 1, damage control system 1, aiming systems mod 1, steering gears mod 2, concealment system. It's the first time we get to use the concealment upgrade in the Royal Navy line with the HMS Lightning. So now on to the captain skills I'm using. Preventive maintenance, last stand, adrenaline rush, survivability expert, basic firing training, concealment expert, and RPF or radio location. I'm uploading World of Warships content regularly now to YouTube, so if you want to keep in touch, just follow the on-screen instructions. I've had so much fun and so many great games in the HMS Lightning so far that I was literally spoiled for choice with great content to make this video. But I decided to wait for the update 0.711 to hit the live server, as I felt those earlier pre-patch games were no longer an accurate representation of what you'll be now faced with in the Lightning, considering the changes announced by Wargaming in relation not only to the matchmaking for Tier 8 to Tier 10 ships, but also the changes to battleships' armor-piercing rounds. Wargaming announced in response to numerous requests from players that they are improving the matchmaker and enhancing the algorithms responsible for creating teams for Tier 8 to Tier 10 games. In addition, they changed the damage mechanics of armor-piercing shells, significantly reducing the amount of damage destroyers take from armor-piercing rounds above 280mm. So, with all that being said, this was the second match I played on the latest update, and to be honest, this is one of the kindest matchmaking I've seen for Tier 8 in a very long time. With no radar threat on the enemy team here, I'm going to push in and fight whatever comes my way. I'm encouraging my team to push in and support me at B, as B is the most important cap on this map, and control of this zone will ensure a much easier fight in the long run. Enemy DD comes in, it's Hms Yang. Open up fire immediately. He does have quite a bit of support behind him. I'm just going to get in behind this island quickly. Smoke up. Managed to set him on fire. He has repaired it. Okay, I'm taking fire from a lot of angles here. Oh, that's pretty unfortunate. Cruisers managed to lob shells just over that island. This Hms Yang, he is using smoke, that's okay. So he doesn't have radar. I'm just going to use this single torp ability here, just in case he pops out, and just delay another couple in here. Trying to angle them in behind that island. I'm just going to leave the cap to give him the impression I'm backing off, and see if he moves his position. Just going to circle around, reposition, and enter the cap again. Not quite sure what my friendly team is doing here at the moment. Oh, and we landed torp on the Hms Yang, and he's taken out. Now this is huge. We can now safely cap this zone. The second enemy DD is in C, so we can easily cap. The Lightning truly excels in this cap contesting role, and is particularly dangerous in a 1v1 engagement. Oh, I got a compliment from the Hms Yang, it's always nice. It is indeed very hard to predict where all those single torps can come from when they can be spread over multiple angles like that. And I did catch him out, I think, by actually leaving the gap and giving him the impression that it was safe to move. Just going to continue capping. A major part of our force has moved to the C cap and now have hit the brakes because they have no spotting and no DD in front of them, while an enemy DD is coming out to pressure their location. It seems our force at A is going to push through the cap and push them from that side. So I'm just going to hold my position here and do what the Lightning really excels at, is capping these control points and holding these control points. Playing DDs is a big responsibility for your team. So not only do you provide spotting, but you should always attempt to lead your team into strong positions through your direct actions. So always make a concerted effort to play the objective. Players are always usually very reluctant to push into a capture point, knowing that there is an enemy DD there. So once I know cap control is established, it's my goal to maintain that control for as long as possible. From the minimap I can see our whole force at sea is now in dire straits. Not only are they outnumbered, but they are being encircled. Pushing now into a stronger force to try and save them when there is no strategic advantage to do so will only draw me out of a strong position and only further weaken our chances of winning this match. Their decision to go it alone there without destroyer escort has already sealed their fate. I'm just going to move up a little bit and attempt to torp into the sea cap, but I'm not going to abandon this defensive position for the moment. The RPF is on the Leon, coming out through that gap in the islands. I'm not quite sure where the enemy frigate is at the moment. Our friendly Turpets is on a suicide mission, it would seem. Now I might seem to be torping across his path here, but they are quite far in front of him, and I was just torping in the case that the Leon kept an angled approach, but he's actually turned flat broadside, which I didn't expect, to our Turpets, and our Turpets is not even shooting at this Leon, which is beached. There's nothing now I can do for this Turpets, so all I can do is lay down some damage on this Leon while he's reversing out here. Hopefully get a couple of fires on him. The Leon is one of these somewhat irritating ships to land hits on because it's got very little superstructure. I'm just going to launch some more preventative torps into that area. I don't really expect them to hit, but just in case he makes a turn. Now we have lost basically every ship that went to sea without a destroyer. I'm going to remind all these guys in chat. Here we have a Nuremberg pushing up, and it's not a good idea. I'm going to try and tell him to hold on and not push up, because we have a good position at the moment. Even though we're down 2 ships, we have the cap advantage and the enemy will be forced to come to us. But this Nuremberg has no patience. He insists on thinking to himself, I need to shoot these guys, and that's what I'm going to do, and I don't care about the 2 Warships that I'm showing full broadside to. And I can't see this guy surviving for too much longer there. So from what I can see, the enemy group has pushed out through sea. A lot of ships there were behind the islands, and they are now pushing out around this island. So I'm going to move out and get into a position where I can start putting some real threat on these guys. And sure enough, that Nuremberg goes down as well. And now we're down 3 ships. And it seems this team could rapidly fall apart. The rest of our team has moved into a decent position defending B, so it's not the end of the world. we will make up those points pretty quickly having the cap advantage. So I'm going to keep putting pressure on these guys. I put 2 torps out the Leon just in case. Normally when battleships go behind the island they hit the brakes, take a little break. So I just put 2 down there and put 2 on that Perth just in case he stays in that same position. And sure enough, the Leon hit the brakes, took his little break. See if I get lucky with that Perth. He's firing from close enough to the same position. Put some more torps on this Leon. Now while I have pulled away from B, I'm effectively blocking the enemy's route to B, so I'm effectively in a better position flanking them here. Okay, there's the enemy frigate. Great, he's pretty low. It'd be great now to get this guy out of the way and remove their destroyer threat. Just going to smoke up here. Try and take this guy out. Okay, that's fine. The friendly shores takes him out. I wasn't smoking up in a position where I just had one target to shoot. I had multiple targets pushing into me here. So I can put down, get some fires on this Leon, hopefully, and burn him down. And this is what the Lightning excels at. Taking up these positions. Being able to smoke up with a multitude of smokes. Share out some HE damage on all these ships. 2 salvos, get the fire, burns his repair. I'm gonna have to push out now because smoke is running out. North Carolina's hit the brakes, he realizes there's a DD in front. Drop a torp or 2 on the shores. Keep him spotted from my team. Okay, we've traded. We lost to Miyoko while we traded cruisers there. Now I could fire at this guy, but I don't. He's so low. I do expect my teammates to kill this guy. I'm going to be forced to shoot him. Okay. Well done, our Warspite. He's taking him out. We'll smoke up here again. Start putting some fire on this North Carolina. He seems to be having the courage to push forward again. There's one fire. Double fire on him. And we've lost our DD. Just going to put some offensive torps on his nose. He's slightly turning. And he's actually burning down really, really quickly, so those torps were kind of irrelevant in the end. Okay, he's repaired. My smoke is just about to run out. It will be worthwhile taking the risk here of keeping him under fire, because he is angled away from our battleships now. Just going to keep fire on him. Hopefully finish him off. He has got all his guns on me, so I need to be ready to turn here.
Enemy battleship destroyed.
Okay, enemies begin to push. It's a 3-on-5 situation. We have a narrow points lead, just under 100 points. Okay, now we've taken. Our Warspite has managed to take out the enemy Warspite.
Victory is in sight.
Okay, now it's beginning to get critical. It's a 4-on-2 situation, but we still have the cap advantage, and I'm just going to keep this guy spotted and under constant pressure. I'm constantly going to stagger my torps. I see the Hipper is making a charge for our cap zone. I need to hold on to this cap zone for as long as possible. spread down in front of him. Okay, I'm unsuccessful with those torps. Got some more, but we'll have more torps up in 50 seconds or so.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Warspite is also entering the cap. Just going to start.
Smoke generator started.
Not going to shoot at the Hipper yet. I don't want to alarm him.
Smoke screen set.
Some fire on the Leon. Okay, we've got a torp hit. Let's reset the cap. We've got the Leon on fire. Honestly, I really want to get a fire on this guy. This is great. Instant fire. And that's going to burn for the full duration. Okay, I've lost spotting. I have to fall back. Oh, those shells were right on point. Hipper is still burning. You see the damage counter still ticking. Keep torping this Leon. Keep him under as much pressure as possible. The enemy Hipper has repaired. Double fire. I need to try and eliminate this guy. It's worth taking the risk here. I'm angled away from the Leon. I am showing a bit of broadside to the Hipper, but there's instant fire. Try and dodge his shells. Okay, I take a small bit of damage, and the Hipper goes down. I was at a nice angle away from the Leon. This Leon is doing quite a good job of dodging my torps. Got it undetected again. Although we have now lost the cap. So they will be gaining points on us. And our friendly Leon is running away, it seems, so I'm going to get little or no assistance. He's just fired his guns. He'll be detected. He's going to get some fires on him as quickly as possible. Get some more torps out in front of him. The more I can occupy this guy, the longer I can keep my friendly Leon alive. He's still got his guns trained on him. Get some more torps. Hopefully get some fires. Okay, that's great. Get more torps out in front of him. I'm after allowing him to get a little bit too close here now, and that's a mistake. Now, this could prove fatal. I've just slipped up. I've allowed him to get within my detection range. I should have left the smoke just a couple of seconds earlier. Just need to pull range. Actually, firing there was a mistake as well. Oh, and I just managed to... I turned into those shells. But I did manage to set him on fire again. So we've managed to hold out here, and he has burned through his repair. Just need to dodge. It's quite close. Oh, and very, very close again. Enemy Leon is burning down, but it was very touch and go there. If he had killed me, they would have won the game.
Enemy battleship sunk.
If you missed any of the previous videos on this British destroyer line, I've included some links at the end of the video for you to check out, and I'd like to thank you all again for watching. I'm currently working on videos for the Jutland, the Daring and the Cossack, so if you want to keep up to date, just follow the on-screen instructions.